I want to talk to you about alignment and abundance, and I want to dispel the myth. Oh, let's dispel this horrible myth that floats about in spiritual community, where we are told that we have to be in alignment before we can create abundance, where we have to be in alignment before we can step into our purpose and our mission. We have to be in alignment before we find our soulmate relationship or twin flame relationship, whatever you want to say. Alignment doesn't work this way, right? Alignment doesn't work this way. And so I want to introduce myself first of all. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Gail, and I work as a soul coach, and I run a 12-week soul alignment course called Align, which I basically take my clients through transformation from being anxious and depressed and feeling out of alignment into learning tools where they get to shine and align with their true power. Hello, Marcus. Hello, Emily. Hello. So yeah, this is what I do, and I love it. I love my work. But I want to share with you that I am not always aligned. I'm not. I'm human. And I'm pretty sure that you are human also. Unless you're one of those, alien lizard people who are pretending to be human. Tell me now if that's one of you. Hello, Gemma. Hiya, how are you doing? So yeah, I'm not always in alignment. And I teach this stuff and I am not always in alignment. And I am telling you now, you don't have to be, and you're not expected to be in alignment 24/7. It's really unnecessary, and it's a terrible thing that we do to ourselves. Hi, Kathleen. I've talked to Marcus before about this thing that I have with spiritualizing things away. Very, very often, when we start to awaken, when we start to step into ourselves, we wake up, we see who we are, we see the drama that we cause, hopefully we see that. We see some of the ego conditioning we have, the limiting beliefs that we have. If you've done some work with me or some other people on the inner child, we connect with that. We start to understand that we're conditioned by our family line, and we start clearing that up. And then there's this thing that we do. We suddenly think, okay, now I'm a spiritual being. Now I'm a spiritual being, and I shouldn't be human anymore. And I should get it right. And we become hard on ourselves. I know I'm guilty of this. And I know some other of you are. I know that. And we do this thing where we start to place ourselves in this kind of spiritual box where it's like, well, now I'm this person and this is how it's supposed to be. But we need, as Abraham would say, the contrast, right? I did a little live stream a few weeks ago where I was talking about fear and love are generated at the same point. Right? And so the message today is kind of the same, where your ability to manifest abundance in your life is not solely that you have to focus on the love in you or focus on gratitude or whatever. All these things help, they do, but it's not really about that. It's not really about that. Hi, John. Thank you, love. Tomorrow's equinox and the 21st is full moon. That's probably extra why the energy is crazy right now. But I've been having a ton of messages, lots of messages. And I really enjoy that, even though sometimes my human self doesn't enjoy all of that. It really doesn't. But I really feel the need to share this today. I feel really passionate about this today, is the realization more deeply inside of me that people are walking about, and myself, feeling that we have to be spiritual beings and not allowing ourselves to be human. I believe we're here to do the work for the human. Your soul, your spirit already knows why it came here. It doesn't need to be cleaned up. It is what it is. Your soul is the thing that will guide you when you can tap into the radar and follow it, right? That's what's going on. So we're here for the human self. Why people are we denying the human? It's right, and it's natural disposition, which is to feel all the range of emotion, every single emotion: anger, grief, despair, fear, love, joy, happiness, contentment, comfort, whether you're too hot, like me at night, I always get too hot, I hate it, or you're too cold, right? to experience the feelings in the body, the emotions and the sensations of being a human. And when we get into spirituality, when we start to wake up, we start to feel like we are leaving the experience of the human and trying to reconnect to our soul self. But our soul self sent us here. It sent us here. And if your soul sent you here, then I'm telling you now, you are allowed to experience a full range of emotion and still fall in love and still find your soulmate and still create abundance and still create a life where you're free, still create that mission, that purpose that you have, right? Still step into that whilst you have fear, whilst you have doubt, whilst you have thoughts that tell you you can't do things. It's not about alignment in the sense of aligning with this perfect version of you so that you can then do what you've come here to do and create the life that you want to have, right? And specifically talking about abundance, right? The reason I'm talking so much about abundance and money at the moment is because I'm running my Money Blocks Blueprint Workshop, where we're going to look at your blueprint that you have absorbed around money, and we are going to radically transform it. We're going to take that blueprint and scrap it and write a whole new one, okay? Going to write a new blueprint around abundance. Abundance is, for me, right? I said this to some friends the other day, actually. Someone who said to me, I don't care about money, right? So let's take that. And I said, oh, I relate to what you're saying, right? I relate to what you're saying here. That I always had this thing of like, I cared more about love and, excuse me, burping. I'm human. So I cared more about love and I cared more about connection and more about creativity, right? Than I did about creating abundance. I cared more about that. And then one day I remember asking myself, I feel like I've gone off topic, but this is still relevant. One day I remember asking myself, what is it about me where I don't care about money? And this was many years ago. And if I first started looking at it, I looked at my past. I looked at it. I was like, well, probably it's because that feeling I desired of like being in love and being a creative person was much bigger. Like I wasn't taught to value money, right? I always saw my dad kind of chasing money. You know, he had a business and he was always looking for more money, and then the business collapsed, so it didn't work. My mum never ever sought money, you know, as in she never sought to go out and create a career. You know, she was a stay-at-home mom, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just basically didn't grow up witnessing that. And then I chose a career in music because I loved creativity, and everyone would tell me there was no money in music. So I still didn't really ever chase that for the money. I chased it for the connection to myself on an artistic level, right? On a soul level, right? The irony of being into soul music and not being a soul coach. So that's the thing. So I can understand that level of not really having an interest in money, especially if you want to be a free, heart-led person. But I am telling you this, I had to change my reference around money to what would money give me? And the top thing that money would give me was freedom, right? As well as the chance to help other people, to give my daughter a better experience of life. That's what money would give me. And when I woke up to that realization, it kind of stopped me in my tracks, you know, because it made me realize that actually, for me to align with the best version of me, to align with the highest version of me, the one that actually has the most potential, it's the one that makes money. It's the one that does the work that she loves, the work that heals, the work that helps people to transform, that helps them to manifest the life that they want to live, right? That's why I do what I do. But it's also work that helps me to make money so I can do more of it, right? If I don't make money doing what I love, then I can't help the people that need it. Okay? So that's one part of the equation. But the other side of it is, when you realize this, when you realize that actually your highest self, deserves to have money, right? Or needs to have money even. You can even put needs on it in order to really reflect and shine your light, right? Because with more money, with your full ability to create abundance, you can be your fullest self without fear kicking in. You can be your fullest self for your relationship. Look how much money affects relationships. Look how much money affects relationships. Really. It's one of the top things other than moving house and having children, right? Or people having affairs, right? But money affects relationships. So if you have money, your relationships are more abundant. If you have money, your children have more experiences, let's say, right? You don't always have to turn around to children and say, we can't do that because we can't afford it, or you can't have that because we can't afford it. Now, I'm not saying that you teach your children that they should have everything just the moment they ask. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that how many of us grew up with you can't have it because we can't afford it, and that was drummed into us, right? So if we are in a paradigm, and we are now these days, right, we have the internet, we have Wi-Fi, we have laptops, we have phones, where we can generate money online, perhaps, right, that might be for you, then there's no reason for us to be in a position where we are lacking 24/7. Now, again, I'm not saying that I don't ever feel lack. I will get on to that. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that your highest self, your highest purpose and your highest potential is really a soul self that's living on this planet, helping your human, possibly helping other humans by also being abundant. Sorry, my camera's gone funny. Right? Is this making sense to you people? Please give me some feedback. John says, having lots of money is a big responsibility. Ah, yes, John. Well, that's definitely one of my blocks that I have seen, and it might even still be there, is that money, if I have more money, right, this is one of the things we'll be doing on the Money Blocks workshop. If I have more money than my family, than anyone else in my family, that I would then be responsible for them. That was one of mine, right? I don't know that having lots of money makes me feel more responsible for myself, but it definitely makes me feel more responsible for other people, you know, other people that don't have it. But that can manifest as a block that holds you back. And then you don't make the money that you're deserving of because you're actually worried that you're going to have to give it away, or you're going to end up responsible for other people who can't be responsible for themselves, or not able to be responsible for themselves in a way. Hello, John. Hello, Elena. Hi, David. So yeah, so is this making sense to you? Some of you can share some of your money blocks or ask me about why we don't have to be aligned to make money, right? So let me get onto this bit instead of me waffling on. So what I see is this, right? Something I said the other day in a live stream that I did about money and the flow of money, right? Your heart has a much bigger energy than your mind. We know this scientifically. It's been proven that the heart has a much bigger energy, okay? If you have aligned with your heart, and I also believe the gut, right? Cleared the fear in the gut by doing the alignment work, and you've aligned with your heart, and you can hear what it's saying to you, because the heart, scientifically, guys, scientifically, is sending information to your brain all the time, okay? We've been wired up to train ourselves to do it the other way around, where we send the information from here to our body, and that's not how it works. That's why our body starts to shut down. We end up with diseases, we end up with aches and pains, we end up with stomach issues because we're not listening. We're missing something, okay? Your heart is always talking to your brain. It's trying to feed it information, right? The heart knows more. Your gut knows more. So if we tap into that, right? Let's take a little bit of what Abraham Hicks would say. The momentum, right, of you doing that alignment work is growing and growing and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And at some point, because you are more aligned, you're so aligned with yourself, it is not that you suddenly start thinking negative things all the time. All it means is this thing that thinks the negative stuff around your abundance or anything else is so much smaller. The energy from here is so much smaller than it is from the rest of you. So your momentum of creating abundance is actually coming from the generator that is you, rather than the ego that is basically trying to thwart you and keep you from being your fullest potential.